Scotland, 1745. The Jacobite cause, once thought dead, is about to rise again. For 3 decades, the exiled Stuart dynasty has watched from across the sea. Their last rebellion ended in failure. But now, the moment for vengeance has come. Britain is at war. The bulk of its army is fighting in Europe. The throne still belongs to the Hanoverians, foreign rulers with no claim to Scotland's bloodline. And in France, a young prince, Charles Edward Stuart, son of the exiled James, sees his chance. His father failed, but he will not. He will take back the crown. He will lead the Jacobites to victory. The Stuart dynasty will be restored, and Britain will belong to its rightful king. The time for waiting is over. The Jacobites rise again. For years, the French have promised support for a Jacobite invasion. Thousands of men, ships, weapons. Yet no help arrives. The French hesitate, unwilling to risk open war with Britain. But Charles cannot wait any longer. He will take matters into his own hands. In July 1745, he set sail from France with just 7 men. A desperate gamble. His ship, the Dutier, dodges the Royal Navy and lands in Scotland on July 23rd. The prince has arrived. But he does not bring an army. He has no troops, no weapons, only a cause and a claim to the throne. At first, the Highland chiefs refuse to support him. They remember the failure of 1715, the bloodshed, the broken promises. They will not rise unless the prince has French backing. But with fiery speeches, he sways them. He promises them victory. One by one, the clans pledge their swords. And on August 19th, 1745, the Jacobite standard is raised at Glenfinnan. Charles Edward Stuart is no longer just a fugitive prince. He is now Bonnie Prince Charlie, commander of the Jacobite army. The rebellion has begun. Charles wastes no time. His forces are small but fast, moving swiftly through the Highlands. By September, he commands 2,500 warriors, ready for battle and drawn by the promise of a Stuart restoration. Their first target, Edinburgh. But Edinburgh is divided. Many of its people sympathize with the Jacobite cause, but fear retribution. Inside the walls, the garrison commander, General Joshua Guest, struggles to organize a defense. But with no real army to protect him, he relies on a small militia and a handful of trained soldiers. On September 16th, Jacobite forces approach the city. They demand its surrender. The city leaders refuse. They hope help will arrive in the form of Sir John Cope, commander of the government forces in Scotland. For a moment, it seems there will be a siege. But Edinburgh's walls are outdated. Its defences weak. Then, late in the night, a bold plan is set in motion. A small Jacobite force sneaks through the Netherbow Port, one of the city gates. They pour into the streets, catching the defenders off guard. By dawn, the city belongs to the Jacobites. On September 17th, 1745, Charles enters Edinburgh in triumph. For the first time in over 30 years, a Stuart once again holds court in Edinburgh. But the real fight is still ahead. A government army, led by Sir John Cope, is marching north. The Jacobites must strike first. Sir John Cope, a cautious but experienced commander, leads 2,300 men, a mix of regular infantry, cavalry, and artillery. He had previously marched north, trying to block Charles's advance. He lands at Dunbar and begins marching inland. The Jacobite army leaves Edinburgh on September 20th, moving quickly to intercept Cope. They find him near the village of Prestonpans, just east of Edinburgh. Cope positions his forces between the Firth of Forth and the marshy Tranent meadow, believing the bog will protect his flank. He positions his 2,300 men along a ridge north of Tranent. In the centre, Cope places his regular infantry battalions, 5 regiments trained but largely untested in real battle. On the left flank, he stations 2 dragoon regiments, mounted troops meant to deter any frontal charge. Artillery sits across the front line, spaced between the infantry, 6 small field guns. His right flank anchors near the coast but remains lightly defended due to impassable marshes. Cope is confident. He believes the marshy ground to the south and west prevents a direct assault. He expects a frontal attack, where his cannons and musket lines will have the advantage. But the Jacobites are watching carefully. Just before first light, Bonnie Prince Charlie positions his army behind Tranent. His commanders, Lord George Murray and Cameron of Lochiel, know a frontal attack would be suicide across the open fields and bog. That night, Lord George Murray scouts a narrow path through the bog on Cope's right flank. A local farmer guides them through the mist and marsh. It's risky, but if it works, they will strike Cope where he's weakest. By 5 a.m., around 2,500 Jacobite troops stand in position south of Prestonpans, directly on Cope's exposed right flank. They form up quietly. Charles himself stays behind the line on a small rise, observing. The plan is simple: charge fast, hit hard, and break Cope before he can react. As dawn breaks, the Jacobite line surges forward through the fog. The Highland charge begins. Drums beat. War cries echo through the mist. They sprint the last 100 yards, closing the distance before the redcoats can adjust. Charles's centre slams into government infantry, who try to fire, but their volleys are rushed and go high. Cope's men break almost immediately. The line folds in less than 10 minutes. The government artillery has no time to pivot. The guns fire a few shots. One of them rips through the advancing Jacobites, but within moments, the cannon crews are overwhelmed and flee. Cope's dragoon cavalry, stationed on the left, attempt to charge and flank the Highlanders, but as they see infantry collapsing, they panic. Horses rear. Riders abandon the field. The government army disintegrates. By 6:30 a.m., the battle is over. Redcoats flee east toward the coast or north towards Cockenzie, tossing aside weapons. Some drown in ditches. Others are captured. Sir John Cope escapes on horseback with a small escort. He rides south, eventually reaching Berwick-upon-Tweed, where he is later mocked in a song as the man who brings the news of his own defeat. Over 1,000 government troops lie dead, wounded, or captured. The Jacobites lose less than 100 men, most of them in the initial charge or hit by cannon fire. Prestonpans is an overwhelming Jacobite victory. For the first time in decades, a Jacobite army defeats a British force in open battle. Bonnie Prince Charlie now controls Scotland's capital. But he is not finished yet. For the first time in decades, the throne of Britain seems within reach. The road south lies open. He will not rule Scotland alone. He will take England. He will march on London. On November 8th, 1745, Charles crosses the border with over 5,000 men. The invasion of England has begun. Town after town submits. Carlisle falls. Manchester surrenders. The road to London opens. On December 4th, they reach Derby, just 130 miles from the capital. Panic spreads in London. Victory is close. But the French have not yet sent reinforcements. And British armies are closing in. A force under William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, is moving from the south. Another army led by General Wade is behind them. If they continue south, they risk being trapped. Surrounded. Annihilated. Charles refuses to accept the reality. He still hopes for a turn of fortune. He expects France will send help. But his officers do not. In a heated war council, they make their decision. They will turn back. On December 6th, 1745, the order is given. The Jacobite army retreats north. The march to London is over, and the rebellion's fate is sealed. But the war is far from over. A final battle is coming. A battle that will decide the fate of the Jacobites forever.